I truly did not set out to make this channel synonymous with Lars Ulrich hate, but here we are. What's happening, everybody? I'm Steve, and welcome back to Junk Drummer TV, where I give my initial reactions, my hot takes, and my analysis on the drummers of today and yesterday, maybe tomorrow if I stick around that long. I'm a professional drum teacher and a giggy musician, and I have been those things for 25 years. If you're a regular viewer of my channel, I hope that you thought that I would maybe do this video. If you're new to the channel, and you might be, I did a video where I reacted to Lars Ulrich Fails. That video was like my 11th one that I've done out of, I think, 130 plus react videos. It was number 11. I was really bad at it back then. But that video did really well, did 300,000 views. And I found out that I was either A, preaching to the choir, or B, pissing off hardcore current Metallica fans. It was such an innocent time back then. I never thought that YouTube hate would ever be visited upon my head, but I was wrong, wasn't I? New Metallica. I love Metallica. I know that it came off like I hate Lars's drumming from that video. What could I do? It was like 9 minutes of just Lars fucking up on stage. You just don't see it. I'm sorry. But also did him playing Blackened during the pandemic when they did like a lockdown special, and I thought he played pretty good on that. Let's see about new Metallica. If you're a Metallica fan, you always have a combination of bated breath and a little sense of dread when you find out there's new Metallica. So let's see what we got. Oh, before we do, if you like what I'm doing and if you think I deserve it, please give me a like, comment, and share. The algorithm is kicking my ass. I've got a Patreon if you're interested, with a whole bunch of Patreon exclusive content. Also have a merch page. These aren't it. They're over there. But I do have a signature drumstick that I'm selling. That link is in the description as well. Let's see about Lars and Metallica and a new song. How is this not like a Stranger Things themed video? It should be, right? It has to be. Of course, when you're listening to new Metallica for the first time, you always think about the possibility of a music journalist, writing something like Metallica, a return to form. So far, riff is fine. It's cool. It's a cool riff. There's some classic thrash metal tropes going on with those crash catches. Jump, 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 right? That's a callback to earlier on in their career. We have a running 16th note with upbeats on the snare drum, on the ands. Perfectly fine. Okay, as a classic Metallica fan, specifically the first 4 records, and I've come to terms with the Black Album since I did that video 3 years ago, James has become a much better singer. Like the execution of being a singer, he is so much better than he was back then. He's something I've always respected, even with late era Metallica, that like James has definitely put in the time to become a better singer. That being said, man, this video is very much like the Arctic Monkeys video I just did, where it's a band that I love and it's a new release, and trying to see if it's still something that I love like I do the other material. Man, I'll never get over James's voice on like Master of Puppets. It was just so fucking perfect. But as a musician and have an appreciation for the technical ability, big ups for James getting older, a lot older than those records, and being a better singer. I mean, it's not a late Metallica song if Kirk Hammett's foot isn't on a wah-wah pedal. Basically everything that he's playing here is all classic Lars. Like the first groove that he plays and the guitar riff section is just very classic thrash metal. I actually didn't plan on doing this, but since the drum set's here. So, dude, it's just, and I don't mean like it's just. It's this, right? This is a groove that if you are a double bass player, you are going to use at some point in your career, right? Right. 16th notes on the bass drum, 8th notes on what he's using a crash cymbal, because there's never a ride cymbal in anything. Although there is, I think, until it sleeps, there's a ride cymbal. But 16th notes on the bass drum, ands on the snare drum, and play some 8th notes on a ride source, and that's classic. You know what I'm saying? Like Lars obviously isn't into learning anything new, but it's a classic, and he's one of the drummers that made it a classic. Yeah, like depending on if that's not doctored, and here's the thing about listening to modern recordings, if you understand how much you can manipulate in the studio, if he's actually doing that, man, that's great singing, man. That's very good singing. I mean, that's as Bay Area thrash as it gets. Chomp, 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 chomp. Lux Aeterna! Hey guys, a Kirk Hammett solo's happening. Obviously. That last part of some of the coolest Kirk Hammett shit I've heard in a long time. This sounds like the Kirk Hammett I've heard a lot. You know what this kind of feels like? Is like if AC/DC were a metal band. Like you could hear that lick. I'm a terrible singer, and I'm just hearing this for the first time. But you could hear this, like, this is like metal AC/DC. And I love AC/DC. It's one of my favorite bands. Metallica is one of my favorite bands. That's what this sounds like. Yeah, it's like an AC/DC song. I mean, that's a classic Tom Petty style arrangement. Riff, verse, chorus. I think there's a riff again. Verse, chorus, guitar solo, verse, chorus. If it's going to be a true Tom Petty format, they'll do a double chorus.
Never alone for the feelings that like amplification, lightning the nation. Never alive more than right here tonight. Full speed or nothing, full speed or nothing. Lux Aeterna.
Okay, there it is. If you're a longtime viewer of my channel, there's the rule of three. They do that third verse, and they hold out that last thing at the end. It's classic. That rule of three will play out over, popular American music arrangements until whatever happens.
Lux Aeterna.
You know, it's a fine song. It's it's fucking perfectly fine. It's not terrible. I had really strong feelings when Stanger came out. I hate that record. It's awful. Why? Why does that happen? Why did it happen? That is perfectly fine. It's Lars playing Lars. Being a better sounding Lars that we heard in the Lars Ulrich fail video from 3 years ago. But, I mean, you can do a lot of doctoring in the studio. I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just saying it's a possibility. You know, the thing that I think that maybe irks me about Lars, more so than just like the fact that like during the era of when I did that video that those videos were taken from, that, you know, it was kind of a goof and not practicing and obviously sounding bad. But even more than that, because we can all sound bad. People said that in the comments section. Like, don't you want any new shit to play? Like, damn, you've been playing drums for like 40 plus years and you just want to play like you did when you were like in your 20s? Maybe that's my problem. Like, I'm 45, and I definitely don't play like I did when I was 25, and I think I've gotten better. Actually, I know I have. I've got recorded evidence of it. But I've always wanted to not get stuck in a rut. And like, now that I think about it, the song's fine. God damn, Lars, man, just like learn some new shit. Learn some new shit. Robert, you sounded great. I wanted to bring that up. Kirk Hammett sounded like Kirk Hammett. But even during his solo, you notice I said like that dive bomb tremolo bar section in the middle of that was very much unlike anything I've heard from Kirk. And in the beginning and the ending was very Kirk Hammett solo. James's singing's great. I just don't like it as much. It's a fucking perfectly fine song. I may or may not listen to it again. Maybe it'll do well on whatever counts as radio these days, but you know, it's a cool song. What I really hope is that the kids who became Metallica fans from Stranger Things, they like it. Because I want Metallica to live forever. Because they're the best. And let me just get this out of the way and I'll end this video now. I know I came off, and maybe just about 2 minutes ago, came off like a big detractor of this band. And I'm not. Like, I was in the militia when I was a kid, man. I remember like buying Cliff 'Em All on VCR tape. I'll end with this story. This is how big of a Metallica fan I used to be and how much I root for them to be awesome. And actually, Death Magnetic was pretty fucking good, man. There's good shit on there. There's actually excellent shit on there. When I was a kid, I read Circus and Metal Edge and all those magazines, and I saw a picture with James Hetfield, and he was wearing a Dwight Yoakam t-shirt. And that's all it took for me to go out and buy Dwight Yoakam cassette tape. I think it was the one that had 1,000 Miles from Nowhere. It was that record, Time Out of Time or some shit like that. And I love that record. So thanks, James. That's how much of a James Hetfield fan that I was and am, and Metallica fan. It's fine, but fucking Lars, man, go learn some new shit. And if you want to learn some new shit, you got to keep practicing until it's easy.